Okay, so there's charcoal sticks, different types of pencils, digital, pastel, wax crayons, chalk. So many different options, which is great, but it's also confusing. I think I've made every mistake there is with materials. So we are going to go to the art shop to get some drawing supplies. We're going to do some drawings with them, and we're going to visit my mum to talk through the characteristics of all these supplies and how to assess them to figure out which one is the right one for you. There's no Maggie this week, guys. She's at home. She has a huge cone on her head, vet's orders, but fortunately my mum has a cute dog too, so we're okay. So I remember when I was a kid, I used to put my mum's artist grade coloured pencils across 2 stacks of books, and I'd watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, get overexcited and karate chop them in half, and then I would hide the evidence. So, you know, the reason I did that was I thought materials don't matter. I had no respect for materials because I thought all that mattered was skill. You could use any kind of pencil. If you had skill, it didn't matter. But materials really do make a difference to your learning. So, man, I love coming to art shops. It's like every sketchbook is just full of potential for you or for someone else. You could make anything you want in there, all kinds of drawings, and the materials too. So when I was starting out, I used what I think a lot of people start out with, which is a sharp graphite pencil. And that's a great material, but I think it's a hard material to learn the big early lessons of life drawing with, because I think this is primarily about using the point. It's a lot about detail. It ends up encouraging you to hunch over and use little marks. You know, use this kind of tripod grip with your hand, because these pencils are really good for accuracies and really good for details too. But what I needed was a material that was going to teach me important lessons about life drawing. Okay, so we got some really good art supplies. It's time to head over to my mum's to assess them all. So I wanted to record some stuff in the art shop, but I kind of got too shy. I got too self-conscious talking in there to a camera by myself, so I'm going to say it here. The sharp graphite pencil. When you're learning, when you're first starting out, it kind of lets you off the hook too much, whereas a charcoal stick really encourages you to open up your posture, encourages you to think about big shapes, big movements of your arm. And that's the skill that I needed to learn. And so charcoal sticks turned out to be a great teacher for me in the early days of learning life drawing. So charcoal's so correctable, right? I had a problem with committing to lines because you can just lift it off with an eraser or even with your thumb so easily that I was never committing and being decisive with lines. So I found a new teacher, which was pen, which was ink. So sometimes I would do a pen drawing just to learn that decisiveness and that boldness. So I really feel like in the early days, you try to find materials which are the same as your favorite artists and what they use for their amazing work. But what you need is the skills they're using. So you need to use any material that's going to help you learn those skills. Just arguing about who gets to keep which supplies. Tiny bit.
Am I look relaxed?
You look fantastic. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So this is my mum Meiko.
Hello.
You've seen her do lots of drawing demos. So we're going to talk about a few different categories of art materials in this video. There's graphite pencils, then charcoal sticks like willow charcoal and vine charcoal, then charcoal pencils, but also other types of non-graphite pencil. There's pit pastel, pierre noir, carbon pencils. They're different, but this discussion is all about how these materials can help us to learn different skills. So we felt that these could be grouped together for that. We talked about wax crayons, and then the last group is pen and ink, like fine liners. So the first criterion is, are they correctable? Graphite pencil and willow charcoal sticks are easily corrected with a rubber.
But problem of willow charcoal is I often do, but you might erase accidentally by side of your hand.
Yeah. Charcoal pencils tend to be correctable when you use light marks, but less so with harder marks. Ink isn't correctable, your marks are permanent and you get one chance, and often that's a good thing. Next criterion is strength of the marks, or how deep and dark the tones get. Willow charcoal and the non-graphite pencils, they can put down really strong, deep, dark tones quickly, and also really subtle, gentle ones. Graphite, if you use a soft pencil, can get dark, but its range is more limited, plus it has a sort of shininess to it. The wax crayon seems to put down a good mark, but not as deep as the charcoal and other pencils. Ink goes super strong, but doesn't quite have the range. It can't do the soft marks. So this is like one random pencil case that my mum loves art supplies. Do you remember when I used to karate chop your colour pencils?
I was very sad.
Okay, so I'm editing this video together. So my mum having all these different art materials is good for her because she's really experienced and really good with all of them. But it reminds me of the last big challenge that I had with materials. When I got a little bit better, suddenly I became impatient. I didn't want to go through all the learning process to build the skills. I wanted immediate results, and I started to think that what I needed was the perfect material. I started flip-flopping between materials, and well, I'll show you what I mean. Every time you switch materials, you have a little dip in the results of the drawing and in your confidence because it's a new material. So of course you start off not knowing what you're doing. So if you keep flip-flopping between materials as you learn, you keep on just having these dips in confidence and it just goes down and down. So I needed to commit to something for the next stage of learning. And I ended up committing to that charcoal pencil group. Committing to those started a really nice upward learning curve for me. The next criterion is covering power. So a willow charcoal stick and the wax crayon, that can cover a big area in seconds. So you can do a lot with a few marks, which is good for quick poses. Charcoal pencils can do the same if you sharpen them properly to expose the side of the lead.
Yeah, and in that respect, graphite is a bit weak, but depends on softness and the brand, I think.
And pen, you tend to use the tip more, so its covering power is limited and you need more time to do a large area. Which grip does it encourage you to use? A charcoal stick and the wax crayon, they force you to use the overhand grip. A pen pushes you to use the tripod grip. The charcoal pencil, the non-graphite pencils, they let you use both, but ideally you'll use the overhand grip with those. And then a graphite pencil also lets you use both, but encourages you more towards the tripod grip. If you're a beginner, the ability to use a tripod grip with pencils could be too tempting. So something like a charcoal stick or the wax crayon could be better because it's really going to make you learn the overhand grip. By the way, guys, we're not sponsored by any art supplier.
That's true.
This is completely unbiased because they don't give us any free stuff. We have to buy all this stuff and they don't give us any money.
Even though we wish.
Yeah. Do they encourage detail or simplicity more? Because they can all do detail, they can all do simple, but which do they encourage? The willow charcoal and the wax crayon push you towards simplicity, so they're great for helping you learn to simplify. The pen and graphite pencil push you towards detail. You should learn simplicity before you learn detail. The charcoal pencils let you do both. Okay guys, we've covered so much about materials in this video, but if there's a simple message to take away from it, it's to figure out the skills that you need to build next, and then find the material that's going to help you to build those skills. And then once you've decided on a material, commit to it until you can get all the lessons out of it. Guys, there will be more videos about materials in the future. There's still a lot to talk about. For now, there should be some suggestions for videos to check out on your screens. Check one of them out and I'll see you over there.